Hi, my name is Lopez, and I am the woman behind Brothers and Briefcases. Can y'all believe, guys? We're 5 years old. Five years old. This dream that I had, that I turned into a panel, that is now a brand. 5 years old. The name came to me in a dream. For those who don't know the story, the name came to me in a dream, and I wanted to create a space for Black and brown men. There's so many spaces for women, not enough spaces for Black and brown men to be able to feel seen, be safe, or feel safe, to be able to create brotherhood, to be able to, see themselves and other individuals, for their fatherhood to be celebrated, for their accomplishments to be celebrated, for us to talk about mental health and make sure to provide them with the resources that they need and let them know that it is okay to feel not okay, right? 5 years, 31 alumni, 6 panels, and it's been an amazing ride. I've learned so much from all these amazing men, and I cannot wait to see what the next 5 years look like for us. The first event was June 10th, 2017, and when I tell you guys, I was a nervous wreck. For a lot of reasons. B&B did not have an Instagram, did not have a Facebook, did not have a website. We didn't even have a logo, because you have to remember, it came to me in a dream, and although we already knew that Black and brown men were being killed by the police, it became very visual 2015, 2016, and I caught myself having a lot of anxiety behind it. So I wanted to do a panel, right? And highlight Black and brown men in a way that the media don't highlight them, and sometimes our own people don't highlight them, right? So I was nervous, I was anxious. I only knew 2 men on the panel. Everybody else, it was someone that they were recommended by someone, or someone that I met. Kels Mania was the first man who said yes to me back in January of 2017. And once he said yes to me, it made it real. I was like, all right, now I really have to do it, because someone already said yes to me. So yeah, I was nervous, but once I saw how these amazing 8 men, yes, the first panel was 8 people, guys. Do not come for me. It was my first panel. Once I saw these 8 men kind of be in sync with one another, I was sitting back and I said, oh, I have something great going here, right? Like, this could be more than just a panel. This dream was given to me for a reason. So although I was nervous, I knew that it was gonna be great. And once the event finished, Brothers and Briefcases merch it was not a thing until 2019. Well, no, 2018. So the first panel, I just basically created t-shirts for all the panelists. Again, remember, we did not have a logo, so it was literally Brothers and Briefcases. We just took some font and put it on the t-shirt. And a lot of the people who came to the event asked me whether or not I will be selling t-shirts. So I said, that could be a possibility. So 2018, I already had a logo, so I created t-shirts, and I sold t-shirts, and they did well. Then I created hoodies, and I sold hoodies and crew necks, and surprisingly enough, crew necks did better than hoodies. And I said, started learning more about the men who follow Brothers and Briefcases and who support Brothers and Briefcases. 2019, I continued to sell t-shirts, and then I decided to also sell dad hats, kind of just little by little spike it up, right? I have a background in fashion and luxury goods. So 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, I said I wanted to give something that was luxury to Brothers and Briefcases, because to me, Brothers and Briefcases is luxury. If you ever came to any of our events, it screams luxury, it screams high fashion, it screams this black man needs to be celebrated and it needs to feel special all the time. So I started taking the knowledge that I have from all the years I've did in fashion and luxury goods, and I created this like lookbook of wallets and backpacks and computer sleeves and duffels and totes, and did my research of which one of those would be cost effective, right, to manufacture. Because the reality is, as small businesses, we don't get the same prices as a Fendi or a Louis Vuitton, right? So we have to be mindful of us being able to make money while we produce great products. So I did my research, Italy, China, started speaking to people that I work with, and once I found someone who was able to send me a prototype without too much of a hassle, because sometimes that happens too. You want a prototype and the manufacturer want to tell you, well, you have to commit to this amount of pieces before we send you a prototype, right? So once I found someone that I was comfortable with and they were communicating well, I created a prototype for the card holders, the backpacks, and the computer sleeves. No, I have not dropped the computer sleeve yet. I'm sorry. And I made some tweaks to the backpack and the leather good, and once I felt that it was luxury, I put it out last year for Juneteenth. Balance. I learned balance from the beginning. So when I started Brothers and Briefcases, I was unemployed. Okay, I was unemployed. So, but I understood that whatever this thing was, whatever this feeling I had in the bottom of my stomach was bigger than me. And as the years have gone on, it continued to show me that. 2019 panel, it happened in July, and a week after that panel, my mom passed away. So the whole time I was planning this event, getting sponsors, getting panelists, my mom was literally dying. And I had to put Gildia aside, and not in an unhealthy way. I just understood that Gildia and Brothers and Briefcases are two different entities, right? And I show up for Brothers and Briefcases as Gildia Lopez, as someone who was given this purpose. So I show up wholeheartedly for that. And I balance it in a way that if I feel overwhelmed, I give myself grace, right? And step back a little bit. But yeah, it showed me balance. She was dying and I had this event to plan, and all I kept thinking to myself, because the doctors told us that she could die at any time, and all I kept thinking to myself was, all right, so you have this event, what if she dies today? Like, what if she dies while you are doing this event? And I've built such a great community that I knew that if I had to leave because something like that happened, that they will understand, right? So that's the beauty about the type of community that I've created with the men and women who have come and been part of the conversation and been part of the brand. How did I balance COVID and how I came out of it? Like I said earlier, I started doing research of how to grow the brand. Like, I knew that this was gonna pass. We didn't know what it was, but we knew it was gonna pass. And we also knew that we was productive being home. We also knew that e-commerce was booming. So a whole bunch of entrepreneurs grew from this tragedy, right? But I also took the time to reflect on, how do I want to show up once we get out of this hump, right? So I went home. For those who don't know, I'm from Guatemala. So I went home for 4 months, and I was able to share 4 beautiful months with my dad, and talk to him about Brothers and Briefcases and what I wanted to do with Brothers and Briefcases, why I created Brothers and Briefcases, and he gave me some feedback, right? And that was an amazing experience with him. and to show balance again, right? Like I came back home, a few weeks after coming back home, he passed away. So I had to go back. But when I went back to Guatemala, I was already in the notion of doing another event, right? That happened in the end of January. I was already in motion because the world was opening, and I didn't want people to miss too much of a beat of Brothers and Briefcases. I was already in the motion of doing another event in April. So balance, again, I understand that Gildia Lopez and Brothers and Briefcases are two different entities, and I give myself grace and I give myself a minute if I feel overwhelmed with both lives, right? With this entrepreneurship life and then this like 9-to-5er life that I have, right? Like I literally give myself grace. I always promote self-care and mental health, and I make sure that I am okay, because if I'm not okay, then I can't show up for Brothers and Briefcases the way I want to. What did I do for self-care? Therapy. I was in therapy when my mom, before my mom got sick. I continued going through therapy while she was sick. After she passed during the pandemic, I was in therapy. And therapy has been a great tool for me to move forward, right? And also understanding that healing is an ongoing process. So don't think because you're going to therapy that you're completely healed. Like healing is an ongoing process, and giving yourself grace and knowing that healing is an ongoing process, right? So therapy has been good for me. I like to go out. I like to go out and experience things. So like going out to eat and being around love, right? Understanding that you don't need to only be around people when things are good. Like if people show up for you when things are bad, those are the people for you, you know? So I learned that real quick too. Like being around people who pour into you as much as you pour into them. So surrounding myself with love, going to therapy, doing the things that I love, giving myself grace, and not, I don't like to be sad, guys. Yes, I know my parents passed away and I grieve them and I miss them, but I personally don't like to be sad. So what I do as part of my self-care as well is let myself feel the feelings that I'm feeling. Let myself feel those feelings, and once I'm done feeling those feelings, what's next? Because I don't like to be sad. I like to be happy and dance and laugh. Wow, guys, 5 years. 5 years, and I want to thank you all. Thank you all for showing love. Thank you to my friends, to my family, to my friends. Showed up. June 10th, 2017, y'all showed up. Y'all listened to my idea, to my dream, and y'all showed up without even knowing what you were showing up to. Special thank you to the first amen who were vulnerable, right? Like class of 2017, y'all are special. Chris, Carlton, Devin, Mike, Purvis, Curtis, Tim, Kels, like, y'all made what Brothers and Briefcases is now. Like I said, it was just a dream, and I wanted to just have a panel where I highlight Black and brown men, where I show the world how I experience Black and brown men, and y'all just, wow, y'all did such an amazing job that made me believe that this could be a brand. So special thank you to you all. And of course to all the other alumni that came after that, class of 2018, class of 2019, class of 2020. Y'all will always be my brothers. I love you all to death. Thank you to everyone who have ever donated, bought a merch, came to an event, bought a ticket for me to raffle, send someone. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. This This is my baby, y'all. My baby 5, and it's been a hell of a ride, but we still here. We here, 5 years old, in the middle of, losing my parents, in the middle of a pandemic, and we're still here. And we're gonna be here for so many more years to come, and I hope to see you all at the next event, at the next conversation, at the next live. I hope to always see you guys showing love and being part of the conversation, because this is a very important conversation that we're having. It's a very important space that I've created for Black and brown men to be able to be themselves, right? Be able to be heard and be able to create brotherhood, right? And that is the most important part. I've created such a safe space for them to be able to create brotherhood. Like I always say, we are here to connect ambitious men of color. So if you know one, send them my way. If you are one, come, send me a DM, send me an email, and we can make magic together.
Very good.
Yeah.